My name is Simon Aloyts, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer, which means head nerd for Liquid Generation and Brand Blaze Studios. We are an entertainment company based in Beverly Hills, California. However, I work from Chicago to be closer to my friends Itransition in Minsk. We create funny entertainment for young adults, 18 to 34-year-old demographic, according to the U.S. Census. In doing so, we also create Facebook games, iPhone games, games of any stripe, really, and we have been outsourcing this work, the programming, that is, the really hardcore stuff, to Itransition for years. We first engaged Itransition through a subcontractor in 2006. So we have a long and juicy history together. And the service Itransition originally performed was to completely redesign liquidgeneration.com. This website draws about 3 million visitors every month and pushes anywhere between 5 to 10 terabytes, depending on the content released at any given month. Task at hand was important and needed to be done relatively quickly to minimize downtime. The transition component was accomplished perfectly. The subcontractor we had a little bit of an issue with and went our separate ways. However, after a few years and remembering how happy I was with Itransition's performance, I went to them directly. I contacted a number of people that I remembered from back in the day. They all still work there. This is a testament to me, who has had my job for almost 12 years, that people who stay at a company for a long time means the company is well run, well managed, and good people are appreciated. And I thought that that was a very good sign. We reintroduced to a number of project managers and never looked back. Currently, what we do is a little different than what Itransition first did, but to me, once you hire smart people, they can figure it out. And I have always been comfortable. For example, our recent iPhone game, Fat Kid Ninja, which I also wrote up as a testimonial on Google+. Itransition had no experience with arcade-style games. And looking at the list of projects that they've done, they were all geared to more slow-moving and application-style things. I didn't care. I would have paid them to learn on my clock because the team is so good, and it turned out extremely well. They came in almost exactly on budget and exactly on time. All the delays and cost overruns were our own fault because we kept changing things. However, we were also smart enough to know that changes cost money, and if we wanted to stop that, we would have. But it was much more important to figure out proper gameplay. Itransition they never complain. Always say, sir, yes, sir. We have to stop making changes and say, okay, we're ready to ship. Of course, every project that you outsource or insource has its issues, and any of our Itransition projects are no exception. The big one, which seems to be of biggest concern to most U.S.-based firms, is the communication barrier. There is none. Everybody speaks great English, and what isn't understood is quickly translated via Google Translator or a variety of other things. I happen to have an advantage in the sense that I happen to be born in Russia, and my mother would beat me if I ever forgot any vocabulary or proper grammatical structures. So it's a little easier. I can translate from one to the other for us. However, Itransition has an office in Texas. They have perfect speaking English people, and I've never found it a problem when I needed to rope in any members of my team. The bigger challenge that we have trouble with is the time. However, for us, we have the clarity and foresight to prevent the questions from forming in the first place, and our developers have also the foresight to fill in the blanks with variables that are easily changed and won't cost us a whole lot of money if they happen to make the wrong decision. So it's all a management process. We have a lot of practice at it, but we also learn from our consultancy that how to do things properly. They lay out the questions pretty clearly. We have to answer them. We have to answer them at night, not save it for the morning. So once you get on that train of thought, it makes it infinitely easier to make things happen quickly. I would highly recommend Itransition to any of my companies. I've even done so to my friends, which is an even bigger underline under what I think of Itransition. It takes a little bit of training for people that have never outsourced before, like I described previously with the challenges, but everybody can get on the system very quickly. Nobody is completely unfamiliar with any segment of any technology that people need. iPhone apps, Android. We can go for the most part as a one-stop shop to Itransition. Yes, I know people like to create redundancy, but every time I've tried, I was disappointed. People in other segments of consulting don't seem as keen to take up projects in which they have no experience. And because of our long history together, with certain project managers, especially Yuri and even Slava, these guys know that I am not going to assign a project just to make them the face of failure, so I don't look silly. So that's important, and I tell that to all my friends and to everybody to whom I recommend Itransition. I have done it just yesterday, so it's something that I'm happy to share in terms of success.